Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video I will discuss the latest developments with Assad, his family, Syria, who's celebrating, who's upset, and what's going to happen with the Russian bases, military bases in Syria. So we're going to start with a little summary. As you know, Bashar al-Assad fled Syria. However term you want to use, the rebels, the terrorists, the jihadists, the Islamist, whatever term you want to use for the democratic forces that overthrew the government of Syria, are in charge, and we'll see who supports them, who supported them, and who supports them, and who is happy to have them in charge for a while. So let's start with the first article here, and I'm pretty sure that if you live in the West, the information about what happened in Syria was the forces, the rebel forces, democratic forces just toppled the evil Assad regime, and Assad flew like a rat. Yesterday I covered a video, an article where they said that his plane possibly was shot down. Well, it wasn't. That's why I said it could, but nevertheless. So we have a different perspective here coming from the other side, unless you really believe 100% one source and you build, I don't know, a trusting relationship with CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and if you have a trusting relation with those guys, then don't listen to the other side of the story or other sides. It's always at least two sides of any issue. Here, Sputnik. Syria's Assad resigns, the Russians report, amid peace efforts. Orders peaceful power for handover, Russian Foreign Ministry. Now, obviously you can say, well, the Russians lost, that's why they will say, you know what, he just resigned because he couldn't win. Well, I don't know that. And I don't trust either the Western media, the free media, or these guys. Why? They all have an agenda. But this is what they said. They said that Assad was in contact with many factions and tried to reach a resolution in which, you know, we negotiate, we do this. The guys showing up at his doorsteps in Damascus said no. Why? Because I think the guys behind them who funded them financially, funded them, and militarily supported them, I think they said no, we're going to go all the way, we're going to put a Gaddafi on Assad as well as justice put on Saddam Hussein, and the way we try to do it now on Putin. They will not do it on Putin as of now. So Assad said, we want to do this. Those guys said no. And then Assad instructed his military to lay down arms, go back into their wherever bases and stay there and see what's happening. He fled, and that's what we know so far. The fact is, Assad is gone. These guys are in. This is a fact. Nobody can dispute that. Now, where is Bashar al-Assad? According to Sputnik, Syria's Assad arrives in Moscow with his family, Kremlin source. I mean, I think nobody had any doubt that in the end Assad will end up in Moscow or in Russia at least. And hey, why not? Gerard Depardieu is over there, Steven Seagal is over there, some boxers are over there, Snowden is over there, many others are over there. The foreign minister of Austria is over there, that woman who now teaches at the university in Moscow, and many others. So, but yeah, all these spies, and you know, they go over there. Like for instance, from Moscow or from Russia, they all fly to London. So you know who's who and what's what. They all have interest. Next one. I'm going to show you another article from Russia Today. Assad in Moscow after Damascus fall. The Syrian president has left the country amid, how they call jihadists, swift offensive in several regions. All right, next one. Russia Today. Putin personally approved Assad's asylum. The Kremlin said this is today, the 9th of December 2024, Monday. There is no meeting scheduled between the two men, Dmitry Peskov said. Russian President Vladimir Putin personally approved Bashar Assad's asylum in Moscow, the Kremlin confirmed on Monday. The revelation follows reports that the former Syrian president and his family had arrived in Russia after the fall of Damascus to arm opposition forces. This is what he says. There is nothing to say regarding Assad's whereabouts. When asked how Assad have been granted political asylum, Peskov said such decisions cannot be made without the head of state. It is his decision. All right, so he is in Moscow, or at least in Russia. Okay, who's celebrating? Well, who are the winners? Let's see. Israel Defense Forces entered Syrian territory beyond Golan Heights. First time over 50 years. So I'm gonna give you a little list of the countries that celebrate and happy with Assad's departure and the turmoil that will settle in Syria. Syria, this is my prediction. Now I know it's euphoric victory and all that, and the pictures taken by the media in a certain way, and interviews with good-looking people, and dressed nicely in Damascus, celebrating, and democracy and freedom will be installed as in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, Iran next, and so on. So we're going to have the same thing, I guarantee you that, or almost the same thing as we have in Libya. Remember, I think in Libya there are slave markets, all right? Then they have problems with even drinking clean water. But hey, that's how happens when the defensive alliance called NATO and Al Capone brings freedom and democracy. I'm not defending Gaddafi, I'm not defending Saddam Hussein, but I'm not defending Ceausescu, but I think these things should be done by the people, not by external forces who have no interest in really taking care of you. And who's celebrating? Here. Oh, someone has a little land grab promised. By whom? You know. Now, watching with trepidation and glee, Netanyahu orders military to seize Syria's buffer zone. Now, is this legal under the international law? They don't care. Why? Because Al Capone is right there. So, they will claim self-defense and preemptive, protection of our people. And we're going to bring and build some settlements as well, just to make sure that it's going to be a productive land over there. We're going to grab it from this. Why? He told us so many thousands of years ago. All right, let's see who else celebrates this. Oh my God, Taliban hails Islamist victory in Syria. The government of Kabul has welcomed the fall of Damascus to opposition forces. Good. I don't know, but we have somebody else celebrating. United States celebrates Assad's fall, but a terrorist could rule Syria soon. You think? Yeah, think. So we have so far Israel, right? Let's build like this. Israel, right? We have more. We have Taliban. We have the United States of America aligned with those interests. And we have Biden offers a blueprint for U.S. support in Syria, announces airstrike against ISIS targets. You see, they tell you that, no, we're not supporting these guys because these guys that won are the democratic forces that we support. We want democracy. Like democracy electing people that will do what we tell them to do. And guess what's going to happen now? Syria will be rebuilt. By whom? By the international banking system, by energy companies that will suck dry legally the oil and the resources of the Syrian people, and by contractors. Contractors, they will be over there. Plus, we're going to provide military defense capabilities to Syria. That is military industrial complex. So the same three pillars in Ukraine and everywhere else have nothing to do. They're just lucky. Like you win the lottery almost every week. These guys are just lucky, all right? So, and we're going to attack ISIS targets. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Mujahideen. Can you see the direction? All right, Syria is going to be in this situation for some time. Now, let's see this is my prediction. I hope not, but you can't be a baboon and not look in the past and see a pattern. And let's see what the Russians are doing with their military bases in Syria. Here, Sputnik. Russia ensures security of military bases in Syria amid ongoing turmoil. And the Russians say, we're going to discuss with whomever's going to be in charge of Syria to see what's going to happen with our bases there. Russian forces in Syria are taking all necessary measures to ensure the security of military bases. He added that the safety of Russian military bases in Syria is a very important issue. Of course, our military are also taking all necessary precautions, Peskov said. He stressed that it was premature to discuss the continuation of Russia's military presence in Syria, as that would be a subject of further discussions with the authorities. Moscow is in dialogue with Turkey, including on the situation in Syria, the spokesman said. The American media, the free media, says that Russia is embarrassed because they have to deal with Turkey and they lost. Yes, they lost. They lost. That's true. And let me tell you what this guy said. Syria is going through a very difficult period of instability, and it is crucial to maintain dialogue with all regional countries. Correct. We are firmly determined to do this, and we will continue to consult and analyze. Got that? But let me show you who's gonna take care of Syria. So here is Syria, right? You have Iraq here, you have Turkey here with the Kurds here. You have Lebanon, you have the big winners right here, Israel, who entered, this area. You have Jordan right here, Golan Heights, and then you have Saudi Arabia and Iran somewhere that way, all right? So here we have these guys. The big winners here are Israel. This is going to be an instability right here, and the Americans will keep taking their oil now legally. Why? Because the guys in charge will allow their country to be by Al Capone. Remember, that's a pimp bazaar. That's how we call it. The pimps are the leaders of each and every nation / country. And the country, the people, the nations are the lady of the night, the prostitute that the pimp sells. Sells to whom? And the customers are the big interests, which are the banking, money, the banking interest. Everything is about money. The banking interests, the energy industry, sucking dry and using. Because without energy, you don't move. If you don't have energy, you're dead. So you need energy to build stuff, to do anything else, to have lights on, to have heat. You have energy. So that's a must. One of the pillars. And the other one is military-industrial complex, where you have to have that little pimp be protected with our weapons. So you see, the bankers will now provide the contractors money to rebuild Syria, as I said, and Syria will have a NATO, United States industrial complex made weapons. So who won? Who lost? I hope the Syrian people won. So people who celebrate right now, they either, it's a good thing to celebrate if things go good. Oh, it's good direction. But the same people who now celebrate, I just urge them to go and look at, as I said, Iraq, the same thing. Celebration, going into Saddam Hussein's palaces, looting over there. And then what set in? Puppet governments. And democracy in Iraq, as long as these guys allow it. If Iraq votes for the wrong person, then you see how democracy is, like in Romania right now. And I will cover that in my next video. So that's Iraq. You got Afghanistan. That worked a lot. Great. Where is Afghanistan? What happened? Well, we reconstructed it. With whose money? Yours and mine. And then you have Libya. Where is Libya now? So all these guys are showing now videos, CNN, celebrating and so on. Just look at these 3 examples, at least 3. Wherever these guys entered, shit came after that. I hope it's not Syria's time to do that. So be a little bit more cautious. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.